chances are you've been hearing these two names a lot. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you didn't know about Childish Gambino or Donald Glover. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at interesting tidbits, fun facts, and awesome anecdotes about this hyper-talented actor, writer, musician, and creator.
Hold up, wait a minute, all good just a week ago. Crew at my house, and we party every weekend, so this is America.
Number 10. Childish Gambino came from a Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Look what I'm whipping up.
That's right, Donald Glover has built a music career under a moniker acquired via a digital roll of the dice. Then again, Wu-Tang has always featured members with some of the best and most memorable names in rap. So can you really blame him for wanting to emulate these hip-hop icons? It seems like he got off lucky, because not all the names created by this generator are quite as cool as Childish Gambino.
I got the strap. Hey, I gotta carry him.
Enter the name John Smith, for example, and you get the Wu-Tang name Drunken Watcher, which, let's be frank, sounds way less clever. Number 9. He created, wrote, and stars in his own TV show.
Is he your manager?
Okay, you already know about Atlanta, given that it took home the Golden Globe for Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy, and personally earned Glover both a Golden Globe and 2 Emmys.
Yo.
Regardless, it'd be criminal to leave this achievement off the list, as not everyone's aware of just how much blood, sweat, and tears Glover's put into bringing this series to life. Did we mention he's also a producer and sometimes director of the show? It is truly Glover's baby, and in order to make it a reality, he had to leave the comfort of his role on the series Community. Number 8. His first action figure? Lando Calrissian. How many people grow up to play the character whose action figure they played with as a child? Like 3 in any given generation? That's not actually a statistic, we're just guessing because it seems extremely unlikely. As he told Ellen DeGeneres in 2016, back when news of his casting as Lando Calrissian had just broken, Lando was the first toy Glover can remember receiving. He also remembers his mom warning him to be careful with it, because she was a big Dee Williams fan. Little did she know years later, he'd be getting advice from Williams on playing that very same role. Number 7. He was an early YouTube star. Everybody has to get their start somewhere, and for Donald Glover, his origin story begins in the mid-2000s with Derek Comedy.
Someone say they were calling the cops? Yeah. I've been watching this whole thing, and both of you get in a paddy wagon.
The trio of actors, Dominic Dierkes, DC Pearson, and Donald Glover, met and began working together while studying at NYU, where all 3 performed as part of Hammercats NYU, a sketch comedy group. Starting their own project, the threesome began filming and uploading videos to YouTube just 1 year after the platform was created. Within a year's time, they were already creating buzz, getting name-dropped by the likes of Rolling Stone. Number 6. His music career began with a pirated version of Fruity Loops. Speaking of humble beginnings, how about this launchpad for his musical endeavors? Like many aspiring musicians and producers, Donald Glover got his start producing beats on the digital audio program Fruity Loops. And again, like many creatives living on a shoestring budget, he didn't exactly acquire his copy via legal means. As he explained when talking to Consequence of Sound, he didn't go out and pirate it himself, as he didn't even know what it was. But when a friend ripped him a copy and gave it to him, he soon found himself skipping class to make instrumental tracks. He's certainly come a long way. Number 5. He's really into coding. Donald Glover might not have a background in computer science, but that doesn't mean he can't appreciate the work and artistry that goes into coding, or have an understanding of its power in the world. Speaking with Complex magazine in 2014, Glover waxed poetic about the beauty of coding, stating that, quote, "If there is a God, he definitely codes." Why? Because Glover views coding as the ultimate building blocks for creating in the modern age, which is why he stresses that he wants to see more kids learning to code, so that they can be creative and, quote, make their own worlds. Number 4. He got his big break writing for Tina Fey's 30 Rock.
Who told?
Donald Glover's talent was obvious from a young age. In high school, he was voted most likely to write for The Simpsons. After making waves in the sketch comedy scene, and online as we've seen, Glover managed to land a writing job on the hit show right out of university. And Tina Fey has acknowledged his talent more than once over the years. In a write-up about Glover she penned for Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People, she reminisced about Donald quitting the show, and how he was the first and only writer she'd ever fully supported in leaving the writer's room to pursue acting. She would later feature on his song, Real Estate.
Gambino is forever. Royalty is forever.
Number 3. He influenced the look of Spider-Man. When it was announced that Sony was rebooting their Spider-Man franchise, a Twitter campaign kicked off, pushing to get Donald Glover in the iconic red and blue suit. Unfortunately, it was all for naught, and the role ultimately went to Andrew Garfield. Regardless of the outcome, however, Glover had become a part of the cultural conversation surrounding Spider-Man. So much so that comic book writer Brian Michael Bendis cites Donald Glover as one of his inspirations for Miles Morales, the Afro-Latino Spider-Man who debuted in 2011. Glover later got to voice the character in the animated series Ultimate Spider-Man, and give on-screen advice to the third cinematic Spider-Man, as played by Tom Holland.
My name is Miles Morales, and I'm Spider-Man.
Number 2. He was raised a Jehovah's Witness. Apart from their tendency to go door to door and a perception that they're very devout, many people don't really know a whole lot about Jehovah's Witnesses. Donald Glover is not most people, and is very familiar with this particular religious group. When speaking with Stephen Colbert, he explained that growing up a Jehovah's Witness meant that he didn't have a whole lot of material possessions when he was young, and was also kept away from things like celebrating birthdays, Christmas, and magic.
Okay, so no Magic the Gathering.
No Magic the Gathering, definitely. No Magic Johnson. No, like...
As he put it when talking to Wired, this, quote, amplified my own alienness. But hey, he did get that Lando action figure. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
That's it, Rick! I'm taking the wheel! Get off of me, Morty! I'm taking charge of this situation, buddy! What's gotten into you? I'm you love her so much, what are you stand around like some sort of dumb... What are you, crazy? Just let you rule the whole world?
Number 1. His follow-up album to Awaken My Love will be the last for Childish Gambino. In 2017, Glover announced that, after one more album, he would be retiring his musical alter ego. This naturally sent people into a panic, with many hoping he simply meant he'd be dropping the moniker and continuing to make music as Donald Glover. But according to collaborator Young Thug, quote, he's really not making music after this.
Man, I bet I'd be on Gambino's last album. I'm on his last album, it's crazy. Beauty of it.
Glover has stated that he essentially believes everything should have a death clause, Childish Gambino included.
Look what I'm whipping up. Look how I'm kicking up. I'm so fitted.
That being said, the success of This Is America and a deal with RCA Records, with encouraging comments from the company's CEO, have led many to hope that Glover might eventually make more music, just not as Gambino. Only time will tell.
Yeah, I'm out here. I'll see you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.